Hey y'all, I'm coming today to do a video that I said I was going to do a while ago. Um, as I stated in my first video, I have PCOS, which is Polycystic Ovary Syndrome. And I'm just going to explain what it is. I got the actual literal definition, so I'm going to read it. So I'm going to look down for a second. It says it's a health condition that causes an imbalance of female sex hormones. It could cause menstrual cycle changes, cysts in or on the ovaries, and trouble getting pregnant. The cause of PCOS are unknown. There is a lot of research has suggested that it is hereditary. I know my mother has female issues, and I know a friend of mine has PCOS, but hers is a little bit different from mine. Her sister also has PCOS. Now, PCOS can cause excessive insulin to build up in your body. Now, excessive insulin can lead to acne, excessive hair growth, weight gain, and ovulation issues. That's why one of the main issues with PCOS for women who are trying to get pregnant is getting pregnant. Now, the symptoms, number one is infertility. Well, I would say number one is menstrual cycle, well, period. I'm just going to say period. We all adults. Well, we all women. Period issues. Having a period that does not come on regular, or having one that comes on and stays on for weeks, months at a time. Now, also, you can have patches of skin around your neck, your thigh, your arms, your breasts that are discolored or darker than your regular complexion. For myself, I do have excessive hair growth. I have to shave all the time. I also have the dark skin around my neck is darker than my regular complexion. I am like a light brown complexion. I know it looks darker on here, but around my neck is always darker. It has been like that since I was a teenager. And I have other spots like on my thighs and stuff that are a little bit darker. Now, I'm trying to go through this kind of quick. One of the most common medicines for PCOS is metformin, which metformin is something they give to people that are diabetic. I am not a diabetic. However, because the PCOS causes the insulin in my blood to be kind of off, I have to take the metformin to balance it. Now, the metformin, one of the side effects of metformin is it can help with weight loss, because PCOS can cause you to gain weight, and it can make it harder for you to lose weight. So if you can be eating right, doing everything, it can still cause the weight to come off kind of slow. I've been on 3 different levels or dosages of metformin. The one that I'm currently on actually works the best. I don't have really any symptoms, but it's something that you have to just stick with. I know that it can cause you to have headaches. It can cause you to have diarrhea real bad. So it's just if it doesn't work with you, you may have to talk to your doctor about changing it. Now, I'm going to talk about the pregnancy issues and, trying to get pregnant. I'm going to talk about that in a moment. Just a few minutes. When I got diagnosed, I can't remember my exact age. I was early 20s when I found out, maybe like 23 something. But I always knew that something was wrong because I never had a regular period. My period never came on. I wasn't sexually active until after I was 17, and even before then, I would go months without my period coming on. But I knew I wasn't pregnant because I was a virgin. Now, I didn't have insurance, so when I was like a freshman in college, I went to our infirmary. Excuse me. This is a touchy subject, so if I drink a lot of water doing this, because I've recorded this video once and got choked up, so y'all have to excuse me, because this is something that's very touchy. But it's something that needs to be talked about. When I went to the infirmary, they didn't give me nothing. So I ended up getting, when I got a good job, I got good insurance. And I went to a doctor. He was an older male doctor, probably in his 50s. They did an internal ultrasound, which was a first for me. Never even knew they had those. And he showed me the x-ray of the ultrasound, and pretty much to me, my ovaries, both ovaries, looked like something I don't even know, because they were just completely covered with cysts all the way around. And to me, he was very rude. He was very blunt. I don't know. And this was supposed to be one of the good offices in our hometown. So, and that's why I chose to go there. Yeah, he was very rude. It was very traumatic for me. I kind of blacked out halfway while he was talking. I just heard him say, "Oh yeah, you're gonna be infertile, and you're gonna have surgery." Being someone that has never had surgery in their life, like, I kind of lost it a little bit. Not screaming or anything at him, but I just blacked out. I heard bits and pieces of what he said. I left from with him and pretty much walked outside. I called my best friend, who is now my husband, which that's on my first video. And I told him, I was crying. I was like, I'm never going to have a man. No man is going to want me if I can't give a man children. My husband is very religious, as I am. And he will, he pretty much told me, you can't put your trust in man. You have to have faith, and you have to put your trust in God. So eventually we went from being best friends to married. We've been best friends our whole life, which it was good because he knew everything going in. If I had someone new who didn't know my situation, who I was just dating, and I had to tell them, oh, I have PCOS, that would have been kind of awkward for me. But he knew everything from the time I knew it. So I got better insurance because I actually didn't go to a doctor again for a couple of years. The first doctor, the male doctor, he didn't even prescribe me anything. He was just like, oh yeah, you gotta have surgery. He didn't prescribe me anything. And I was so traumatized, if you will, seriously, from talking to him, that I just refused to go to another doctor for a couple of years. But once me and my husband got married, he was like, no, we need to go to a doctor. We need to talk to somebody to see what's going on. We went to a lady doctor, a younger doctor. I researched who to go to. And she was great. If we were still in our hometown, she would still be my doctor. She was great. First thing she told me and my husband was that a doctor cannot tell you if you can have a child or not. That's up to God. And that was all I need to hear. My husband, every single gynecologist visit, every doctor visit that I have had, except for when he was in basic, get choked up again, he has gone with me. So he has been there for me like no other. Which again, if you want to know that story of my husband and I, just look at my first video. Now, number one thing with us, is getting pregnant. Now, just to look at my little notes again. Now, okay. Like I said, PCOS causes you not to ovulate. Pretty much, like the first time I went to my lady doctor, who I would still be going to, the first thing she did, because I hadn't had a period in like a couple of months, and we knew I wasn't pregnant, she prescribed me medicine to force my period to come on. She was the first one to prescribe me metformin. Now, with pregnancy, it is possible to get pregnant while having PCOS. It's possible. Pretty much what you do have to take the metformin. There's a second drug you could take, which is Clomid, which I talked to her about that. I'm not on Clomid yet, but Clomid pretty much is something that forces you to ovulate. It forces your body to drop eggs. One of the side effects of it is you have a higher chance of having like multiple, like twins or something. Now, the surgery that the doctor was telling me about, it's from what the good doctor I had. What she told me is it's ovarian drilling, and it's pretty much, it's if you take metformin, you take Clomid, and it still doesn't work. You can do the drilling to go in and take the cyst off of your ovaries. However, with PCOS, they're going to come back. So that's something that's a last resort, which I have faith. I'm trusting. I have faith. So I don't even think we're going to have to go through that. Now, one of the things that I have always been scared of my whole life, like even as a young person, y'all have to excuse me because this is something that's very difficult for me. Even as a young person, I always knew something was wrong because of how my periods came on. So it's like in my mind, I pretty much got it that I wasn't going to have children from me. I was going to have to adopt. Which my husband and I actually talked about that. His thing is, if we try everything and it just doesn't work, then we'll look into adoption. But we both have faith. We have been married for, 3 years this summer. And pretty much we have waited to try to get pregnant because of me. Because I'm terrified of having a miscarriage. And unfortunately, I'm trying to hold my tears. Unfortunately, with PCOS, even with the Clomid, even with the metformin, one of the side effects is premature birth, miscarriage, gestational diabetes. Those are the side effects of having PCOS and being pregnant. Now, there are things you can do, which, number one thing you can do is be healthy, eat right, exercise, don't smoke, which I have never smoked. I don't smoke. So like I said, we waited to try to get pregnant because of me, because I don't want to do anything that's going to cause harm or jeopardize our child from day one. So my number one thing is I have to be healthy. That's why, I am really, really serious, because we really want to get pregnant next year. I'm really serious. I work out 6 days a week. I try to eat under 1,000 calories. I actually sometimes eat under 900 calories. I don't starve myself though. I don't. I do eat 4 to 5 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and 1 or 2 snacks. It's just I exercise extreme portion control. I measure everything out. And I know to some people that can seem like, oh, I don't want to do that. There's nothing that I wouldn't do to get pregnant. There's nothing that I wouldn't do to give my husband a child. So if I have to take medicine, if I have to lose weight, I'm going to do it. And I'm so sorry. But it's something that is really, really difficult for me. So, again, it's actually pretty common for women to have, it's not as uncommon as people may think. I honestly wish that I had got tested for it specifically years ago. Because like I said, I always knew something wasn't right. So if you have a daughter, I wouldn't say, like my husband and I talked about it, and I told him once we have children, we have a daughter, which I hope we do. I want him to have a boy, I want him to have a son, but I also want a daughter for me. But I'm going to, once she gets around 17, 18, I'm going to have her checked for PCOS, because like I said, it's pretty much hereditary. And I'm going to have her checked because I want her to know, and I want her to be on top of it. And I'm not faulting anyone. It's just that, when you're young, people keep saying, oh, you don't get a regular period, it'll straighten out. But for some people like myself, it never straightened itself out. So that is it, y'all. I'm so sorry for crying. It's something that's not talked about. Women issues, but it needs to be talked about. And I do thank y'all for watching and listening to my story.